This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Monday, July 27, 2026. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, MV Barima tragedy takes center stage amid protests in the National Assembly. A nation continues to grieve as victims of the MV Barima tragedy laid to rest. President announces commission of inquiry into MV Barima tragedy and rolls out new initiative to provide support. And in sport, Guyana Amazon Warriors qualify for GSL playoffs after thumping win over Lahore Calendars, and Guyanese CLE Peterson cops bronze in Taekwondo at CAC Games. With the news, I am Lizzie Yearwood. Thanks for joining us. The MV Barima tragedy took the center stage on Monday as parliamentarians gathered for a sitting of the National Assembly at the Arthur Chung Conference Centre, Liliendal. As members of the government side provided an update on the tragedy, including the pledge of a full inquiry by President Dr. Irfan Ali, opposition parliamentarians persisted with protests calling for the resignation of Public Works Minister Juan Edgell and former Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, over the sinking of the passenger and cargo vessel that served the Georgetown Northwest route.
The MV Barima tragedy took center stage on Monday as parliamentarians gathered here at the Arthur Chung Conference Centre at Liliendal, Georgetown, for a sitting of the National Assembly. Now, it has been just over 1 week since the ferry sank while en route to Port Kaituma in Region 1. So far, 76 survivors were rescued, while the bodies of 73 persons who passed away were recovered. There are still 30 persons yet unaccounted for. And at Monday's sitting of the National Assembly, lawmakers paused for a minute of silence to pay tribute to those who passed away and to those still reeling from the impact of the tragedy. But that minute of silence soon became loud protests that persisted throughout the sitting of the National Assembly as opposition parliamentarians called for the resignation of the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgell, and the former minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar. Amid those protests, there was an important message from Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali. His message was read by Attorney General Anil Nandlal, and in that message, President Ali repeated his pledge that an independent international commission of inquiry would ascertain what really went wrong and led to the MV Barima tragedy, including whether negligence or institutional failures contributed to that tragedy, and to recommend reforms to prevent any similar tragedy in the future.
The truth must be established. The lessons must be learned. The reforms must be implemented. And where failures, negligence, or wrongdoing are identified, accountability must follow. That is the duty we owe to those whose lives were taken, to those who survived this terrifying ordeal, to the families who continue to mourn, and to the people of Guyana.
There was also an update on search, rescue, and recovery efforts from Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips. He detailed that there are still 30 persons missing.
The Maritime Rescue Coordination Center remains operational, and the search and rescue effort continues. The public was advised that full recovery mode was being pursued. The government of France has provided 15 divers who joined the local team on the site.
Monday's sitting was suspended twice, but the protests persisted. The government side also continued with the day's agenda. At the top of that agenda was a request for over $54 billion in supplementary funding. Now, that funding was sought as additional financing for several government initiatives, including the Landmark Gas to Energy project, housing and road infrastructure, and retroactive payments for Ghana Sugar Corporation workers. The sum was approved without supplementary questions as opposition members of parliament remained on the floor, chanting and pounding desks in protest. Then came other bills in the House. There was the bill to establish the Guyana Development Bank. This development bank is a highly anticipated government initiative that promises to give much-needed financing to budding entrepreneurs and those seeking to expand their businesses all across the country. There was also the Sexual Offences Amendment Bill, which seeks to combat those offences across Guyana, but was referred to a special select committee. And so it continued throughout Monday's sitting of the National Assembly. Opposition parliamentarians persisted with their calls and did not participate in any of the agenda items. Reporting for the newsroom from the Arthur Chong Conference Center, I'm Vashani Ragabir.
Just 1 year after burying their father, the Manoharlal family has endured another devastating loss. On Monday, relatives, friends, and neighbors gathered at the Memorial Gardens crematorium and funeral home to bid a heartbreaking farewell to 7-year-old Samara Manoharlal and her 5-year-old brother, Timar. The young siblings of Circuitville-Susdike-Linden Highway were among those who lost their lives when the MV Barima capsized off Ghana's coast. They had been traveling with their mother, Shivani Wells, to visit their grandfather in Region 1. Shivani survived the disaster, but her 2 children did not. As emotional tributes poured in, mourners remembered Samara and Timar as loving, joyful children whose deaths have deepened the grief of a family still struggling to come to terms with the loss of their father just a year ago.
In loving memory of our wonderful cousin, of all the special gifts in life, however great or small, to have you as our cousin was one of the greatest gifts of all. May the wind of love blow softly and whisper in your ears. We love and miss you, and we wish that you were here. Deep in our hearts, your life is kept to love and cherish, not forgot. No tomorrow we can share, but yesterday are always there. A silent thought, a silent tear, keep your memory ever near, in our hearts forever. Tomorrow, we miss you. I know you will go and be with your father, and may your soul rest in peace. Losing them feels like losing a part of ourselves, a light that once made our days brighter. They are a source of love, kindness, and strength, always there with a warm smile and a caring heart. Though they are no longer here with us, their memories live on in every laugh we shared, every lesson they taught, and every moment we held dear.
These 2 children of ours is my neighbor in Grove, and every morning when I pass in to go out, I always see them outside. And these 2 children is very loving children. Auntie Diane, she have them, and she used to take care of them well. Because every time when I go up there, I always go over by her and I always see them playing. And these children, I must say that I will miss them a lot. I will miss these children a lot. Because they're always nice children, willing children.
Heartfelt tributes and tearful goodbyes marked the funeral of 3-year-old Alicia Atkinson on Saturday. Grieving family members and friends of Kairuni-Soesdijk Linden Highway gathered to celebrate her short but cherished life. Alicia was among those aboard the ill-fated MV Barima when it sank on July 18. Loved ones remembered her as a joyful and loving child. Alicia was traveling aboard the vessel with her mother, Alicia Atkinson, and her baby brother, Tristan. Alicia and Tristan were saved by a stranger who was himself trying to stay afloat. Days ago, in an interview with the newsroom, Alicia remembered how the man saw her struggling to stay afloat with young Tristan and gave them the vinyl carpet he was holding onto. Tragically, both that stranger and little Alicia passed away.
Didn't know today would be your last, or that I had to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. Praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight.
Today we gather here to celebrate the beautiful life of Alicia Atkinson. Alicia had a bright and happy spirit. She loved fashion, enjoyed watching cartoons, and one of her favorite things to do was comb her mother's hair. She also loved eating cook-up, and a favorite meal that always brought a smile to her face.
And from this church, we want to say that we will continue to support you in praise and encouragement. And also, being the chairman for this community, we will support you. In every way, we will continue because we are supporting you. And we will continue to support you to the fullest.
You brought joy, you brought laughter, you brought hope. Today our tears are real, our pain is real, our questions are real, but so is our love and unity. I am also a teacher that would have been looking out to welcome little Alisa into our school for the new school year in September. To the mom and the family, our community and country at large, let's all stand together in love and ask God to be in the midst of it all.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall have everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, whosoever believeth in him shall have everlasting life. That's why I love the Lord, that's why I love the Lord, that's why I love the Lord, and that's why I love the Lord.
3 cousins who perished in the MV Barima tragedy were honored with touching tributes on Sunday during a funeral service at Bartica, East Bank, Essequibo. The children, Viviana Sadrodin, 12, Rubina Hernandez, 7, and Aquila Rodriguez, 8, were traveling with their grandmother, Helena Moonsami, when the vessel sank. Their 2-year-old cousin, Vince Wong, remains missing as the search continues. Throughout the service, family members and close friends paid glowing tributes to the cousins. They recalled their warm smiles, generous spirits, and unwavering willingness to help others. The memories of these children will grow stronger and live on in the hearts of those who knew them.
At school, Akila was quiet, gentle, respectful, and kind. She never needed to be the loudest voice in the classroom because her beautiful character spoke for itself. She treated everyone with kindness and respect, and her gentle smile brightened the days of those around her. At home, however, Akila had a different side. Her mother often shared stories of her mischievous personality. She loved to laugh, play, and keep everyone smiling. She reminded us that behind every quiet child is often a playful spirit waiting to shine among those she loved most.
You know, Robin is a bird. Just like the robin bird, Rubina was a busybody and very talkative. She was also artistic, her teacher Karan told me. He said she would draw. Whenever she finished her schoolwork, she would draw and she would color. She was very creative. She was loving, brave, helpful, and very playful. She was full of life.
She was very quiet and a contented person. She used to live with her mom and also loved visiting her grandmother, Helena. From the earliest memories, she was a constant source of help towards her mother and anyone who she made contact with. Viviana, thank you for your love, your wisdom, and your light. I will carry your memory everywhere in every step forward. I'll walk with the part of you that will always live within me. Rest peacefully, my dear sister, and you will always be deeply loved.
The 5-member Commission of Inquiry into the MV Barima tragedy will be led by Justice Godfrey Philip Smith of Belize and includes regional and international commissioners versed in maritime operations and law. The other members of the commission are Captain Hamada Foda, Nairi Don Alfonso, Rear Admiral Retired, Hayden Pitchchard, and Dr. Andrzej Jasinos.
I hereby announce the members of the Commission of Inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the capsizing and sinking of the MV Barima and related matters. The members of the Commission are Justice Godfrey Philip Smith of Belize, CARICOM High-Level Representative for Law and Criminal Justice and an ad hoc Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal, who will serve as Chair of the Commission of Inquiry. Dr. Andrzej Jasinos of Poland, Naval Architect and Marine Engineer, who has advised on investigations into several major maritime disasters. Captain Hamada Fouda, Senior Maritime Surveyor and Compliance Auditor with the Maritime Authority of Jamaica. Miss Nairi Don Alfonso of Trinidad and Tobago, attorney at law with expertise in admiralty and maritime law. Rear Admiral Retired Hayden Pritchard of Trinidad and Tobago, a distinguished professional with decades of experience in maritime operations and maritime security. The Commission will determine its own procedures and methods of work, consistent with its mandate. The terms of reference of the Commission of Inquiry will be establishing the full circumstances surrounding the tragedy, including the causes and all other factors relating to the loading of the vessel, the boarding of passengers, conditions on board, the capsizing and sinking of the MV Barima, and any other related matters. Reviewing comprehensively all aspects of the search, rescue, and recovery operations, including the adequacy, coordination, and effectiveness of the response by all agencies and stakeholders involved.
When the newsroom returns, we tell you about a new initiative announced by the President to support all the persons affected by the MV Barima tragedy. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. President Dr. Irfan Ali announced a new initiative that will provide support to survivors and bereaved families affected by the MV Barima tragedy. In a video shared on Facebook on Monday morning, President Ali said the new initiative will promote healing and mobilize financial assistance needed. He clarified that this initiative is not meant to be compensation for the affected individuals. He named this new venture the Heart, Hope, Empathy, Aid, Resilience and Trust Initiative.
To ensure that this support, material, moral, and spiritual, is sustained, I'm establishing a national body to coordinate, mobilize, and foster this necessary work of healing. It shall be known as the Heart Initiative, H-E-A-R-T. Hope, empathy, aid, resilience, and trust. Hope for the grieving, empathy for the broken, aid for the hurting, resilience for the journey ahead, trust that will never be forgotten. This initiative will be overseen by trusted and respected religious and civil society persons drawn from across Guyana. Led by Mr. Carl Stewart, they will carry the prayers of every faith, the hopes of every heart, and the sacred traditions that bind us, whether spoken in the quiet of a church, sung in a temple, or whispered in the mosque. They will offer the practical hands of service and provide a safety net of support and compassion that no family affected by this tragedy will slip through. I also wish to announce that I have asked Mr. Iman Harrison Courtenay of Belize to assist in working out the modalities relating to financial assistance for the survivors and the victims' families. Mr. Courtenay brings to this process a wealth of experience as a practitioner of law, as a former Minister of Foreign Affairs and former Attorney General and Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade of his country. I wish to make it clear, this assistance does not constitute compensation for survivors and bereaved families. These measures embody a commitment that every survivor will be supported. Every bereaved family will be treated with dignity.
The team from the armed forces in French Guiana assisting with recovery operations following the MV Barima tragedy has provided an update on the ongoing mission, outlining the challenges they continue to face. 1 week after the wreck was discovered, recovery efforts remain complex, with the team highlighting difficult conditions that have impacted the operations as they continue their search and recovery work.
We arrived on Monday, and since Tuesday we conducted about 15 dives on the wreck. There are very, very hard environmental conditions, especially because of the tide and the currents. On the wreck, it's totally dark, so it's very difficult for us to navigate through the wreck. We have to feel the wreck, and it's like we are blind. So it's too dangerous for us to enter into the wreck. And because of the many ropes and hammocks, it's very difficult to see where we are going. So I would like also thank you the Guyana Defense Forces for all their support, which allowed us to conduct the dives, but the weather conditions and the environmental conditions on the set are really, really hard. We had a rock in the wreck. I guess that all fishermen discovered the wreck before we arrived. So there was a rope on the wreck. We just follow the rope, arrive on the wreck, and try to navigate by searching the characteristic of the wreck. So we were able to follow the lines of the wreck and try to feel if there was a door or window or hammocks or whatever. But it quite in the mud. It's totally dark, so it's very difficult to search for something. Explain to the team what we felt and how they can do better, etc.
Before the developments inside the House, the joint opposition organised a protest outside the Arthur Chung Conference Centre, Liliendahl, ahead of Monday's sitting of the National Assembly. Their protest focused on the MV Barima tragedy, which has a death toll of more than 70 persons. Representatives of We Invest in Nationhood, Alliance for Change, a Partnership for National Unity, Forward Guyana Movement, and Vigilant Political Action Committee joined the protest.
The call for this minister to go is not a call out of personal ego, it's a call because of his own negligence. He stood there and lied to the Guyanese people. So if you're prepared to lie to protect your ministry, what are you not going to do when this investigation unfolds? Obviously, you're going to continue to use your influence to steer this investigation where you want it. So this is not just, oh, we don't like Edgel. Edgel would have already stood on national television and mislead the entire nation.
I challenge all your viewers to tell me one recommendation that came out to the Mahdia fire that one person who is held culpable. And we're afraid that out of the route where this is going, we'll end up back just like this, you know what I mean, a activity just to save face.
Victims of the MV Barima tragedy remembered fondly in emotional farewells. This and other stories when the newsroom returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Family, friends and residents of Sandvoort Village, Region 6 came together on Sunday to honor the life of Devon Mars, 46, one of the victims of the MV Barima tragedy. He was traveling to Region 1 on July 18 when the ferry sunk. He was on business to sell meat, a side business he carried out. Through prayers, songs, and emotional tributes, loved ones reflected on the cherished memories they shared with him, describing him as a man whose kindness left a lasting impression.
From the very beginning, Devon was a source of joy and strength to his family. He shared his life with his partner of 20 years, Florida Shakespeare, and together they have 3 beautiful children, Daisy and Phil Mars, Devon Mars, and Zendaya Mars. His greatest blessings and the very center of his family. Devon did everything and everything to make sure his children were taken care of. The very reason he was in the best of and that little faith in him, all of that belonged us physically, that he was known far and wide for his Devon's life was not measured by the number of years he lived, but by the love he gave and the lives he touched. He had a smile that brightened the room, a heart that made space for everyone he loved, and a spirit that will never be forgotten. One of the things that defined Devon was his faith. He always carried with him a little New Testament that reminded him that we made him to the very end. A constant yet quiet reminder of his belief in God. He will now carry the Testament as a symbol of Devon's faith and the strength he drew from God's word. Devon lived by love, hope, and faith. He has left his earthly life. The memories he created, but each of us will continue to live on. His passing was left a void that can never truly fill. We had hope for one more time. More conversations, more laughter, more of that big red smile, more birthdays, and more memories. Yet, even with grief, we are thankful for the years we were blessed to share him. Today we remember that not only for roles he played, he had a son, partner, father, brother, uncle, nephew, cousin, and friend. But for the man he was, his love, his strength, and his presence, he will remain in our hearts forever.
Silence was broken only by sobs and heartfelt prayers on Saturday as loved ones gathered to honor the life of 34-year-old Delon Gaskin, one of the victims of the devastating MV Barima tragedy. The funeral drew family, friends, and well-wishers, all united by grief, as they paid their final respects to the miner whose life ended while traveling to Arakaca in Region 1 when the MV Barima sank. Before his final journey to Best Village, West Coast, Demerara for burial, mourners assembled at Ezekiel Funeral Home for a viewing reflecting on the life of a man they said was devoted and dedicated and has left a void too large to fill.
He was a cool, friendly, down-to-earth person and a very quiet individual. Delon was a very hard-working man who loved his family dearly, and his family loved him back with the same energy. He was a devoted and dedicated father and partner. His absence has created an unforgettable void in his family, a hole too large to fill.
We were all praying and hoping that God will do a miracle for us. We were trusting, we were believing. But God knows best. Looking at the casket here simply tells us that tomorrow is promised to no one.
Despite facing hardship throughout much of his life, Omar Harris never gave up. That was the message echoed by grieving relatives on Saturday as they laid the 55-year-old vendor and father of 4 to rest, remembering one of the victims of the MV Barima tragedy as a resilient man whose determination carried him through some of life's toughest moments. Family members said Harris endured many struggles, but he remained determined to push forward, supported especially by the unwavering love of his mother.
The bestest father anyone could ever ask for was my dad, Omar Lyndon Harris. From the late night phone calls and early morning calls, we went on vacation. We would walk in the morning and sit and talk for hours and hours upon ends. And if anything's wrong, he's there for me. I want to thank God for this father here. I love you so much, Dad.
2013, he returned to Guyana. In 2026, his mother, Bibi Daniels, I've got a phone call. With all Omar was going through, Bibi, I've never gave up on Omar. When she got a phone call that Omar got shot up and died in Venezuela, Bibi put up that announcement. Then Bibi received a call stating Omar is alive. That announcement down, back. But I've wished today, if someone could call and said Omar did not drown in that boat, and it was a wrong death we have kept. But no one have called and said that. Everybody only called to say rest in peace, Omar.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge report, along with sport news. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Newsroom. Avinash Ramzan here with tonight's sport. We're starting us off with some cricket news. The Guyana Amazon Warriors secured a top spot in the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League with a decisive 53-run victory over the Lahore Qalandars at the Guyana National Stadium. Ramanullah Gurbaz anchored the Warriors' competitive 164 for 9 with a rapid 65 before Gurukesh Moti dismantled the Qalandars' run chase with exceptional bowling figures of 4 for 19, limiting Lahore to 111 all out. Following the Warriors' third consecutive win, Shimron Hetmaya praised the team's ability to reap the rewards of their strong play and emphasized that the Warriors are highly confident of going all the way.
The power plays, I really think is more important because the newer ball kind of comes onto the bat a little bit better and it kind of just doesn't spin as much when the ball gets softer. So I think for us, it's just it was actually a pretty decent one. I guess losing a couple wickets in clusters doesn't really help, but at the end of it, I think we still came out with a decent enough score that we could have defended.
All right, another mini collapse, so to speak, today. Any concerns about that and the middle order's batting?
Yes and no. I guess because of how short the tournament is, you don't want to dwell too much on it. You just want to keep taking one game at a time and keep going. So it's just for us to really and truly just hit the balls, really. I think it's for us to just not go into a negative mindset thinking that that anything can happen, that we could get out in the middle overs. I think for us as a team is just to continue to do the good things well and try as best as possible to stay in the crease for as long as possible.
Excellent performance with the ball tonight. Talk to us about that and especially about Moti's spell.
I think in Guyana it's a one-off kind of thing when bowlers really struggle. I think last night was one of those nights where we kind of got put to the sword just a little bit, but tonight is one. It's just the fighting spirit that we have, and we have it in the team as well for us to go out together and just do what we need to, which is just put the ball in the right areas for as long as possible and just wait for the rewards. And I think Moti did that for us really well tonight. Just keep putting the ball in the correct areas for as long as possible and reap the rewards from that. We're pretty confident. I think the confidence came in from since the first game, to be fair. It's just for us to, like I said, for us to just continue doing the right things for a long period of time because we're at home here, so we're trying as much as possible to make use of the home conditions and just keep putting the ball in the right areas. The batters keep putting up their hands when needed and just take it one game at a time, really.
Now, despite a heavy 53-run defeat to the unbeaten Guyana Amazon Warriors, Lahore Qalandars captain Michael Bracewell insists his squad remains completely unfazed, brushing off their batting collapse as a standard hazard of T20 cricket. While the victory pushes the Warriors to the top of the Global Super League standings, the Qalandars maintain their focus and confidently hold on to the second place, remaining highly optimistic about securing a playoff spot.
We batted first in the daytime, and I think sometimes it gets a little bit easier to bat here at night time. It wasn't the case today, but I still back the decision to bowl first.
Any concerns about your batting, that collapse that happened? Any concerns heading into your final game?
No, not at all. I think that's 2020 cricket. When you're chasing a score like that, sometimes it can happen. We still back all the players that we've got, and any time you don't chase a score down, you obviously want to do a little bit better, but that's sometimes cricket.
For you, any positive highlights in this game?
Oh, look, I think the way that we came back and put them under pressure throughout the innings, I think we were staring down the score of 200 plus for a long time there. So plenty of positives to take out of that. The way that we got ourselves back into the contest, and ultimately at the halftime break, we were pretty happy with where we were at.
Now, Guyana's Celie Peterson has etched her name into the nation's sporting history by securing bronze in the women's under 49 kg taekwondo at the Central American and Caribbean Games, that's the CSC Games. Peterson delivered a composed performance to defeat the Venezuelan rival 2-0 and claim Guyana's first podium finish at the Centennial Games in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Earlier on Sunday, she suffered a hard-fought 2-0 semi-final defeat by Colombia's Andres Ramirez, but regrouped impressively to ensure she did not leave the Games empty-handed. And an unbeaten half-century from Hamad Azam and a decisive 4-wicket haul by left-arm fast bowler Ghulam Mudassar guided the San Francisco Unicorns to a 5-run victory over the Perth Scorchers in the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League at the Guyana National Stadium. Defending a modest total of 152, Mudassar's crucial strikes ensured the Scorchers' late fight back fell short in a tightly contested chase on Sunday. Electing to bat first, the Unicorns were heavily reliant on Azam's 64 not-out of 46 deliveries a vital innings that rescued his side from a precarious 46 for 4 during the power play.
As a player, when you go in the field, like when especially for a batting or a bowling or whatever it is, you want to do the best. And the condition today, like situation, actually not the condition, like situation wasn't the ideal. We got a lot, like a few wickets down. So I was just trying to play like till the end, and it worked out for us, for me, for the team as well.
You guys were 4 down after just being unbeaten at 42 in the power play, and then 4 quick wickets. What went into that recovery, and how good would you rate that recovery?
I mean, like I was happy like when we finished at 150, 153, like I was hoping like to get it 160 to be honest, but still like we were happy like as a team, like obviously like we collapsed, like we lost a lot of wickets like in the power play and afterwards as well, but I'm still happy like we scored like 155 was a good score like in this pitch and in this condition.
How much confidence does this win give you going into your next 2 games?
Obviously it was really important because we lost the last game, and winning like this game was really important because it's a short tournament. We just got 4 games, so it was really important for the team to win the game, and it will boost our confidence.
Meanwhile, Australia's Perth Scorchers find themselves winless after 2 matches in the ongoing ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League following a tight 5-run defeat to San Francisco Unicorns on Sunday at the National Stadium. The result leaves the Scorchers needing positive results in their remaining 2 fixtures against Desert Vipers and the Guyana Amazon Warriors to secure a top 3 spot in the 5-team tournament and progress to the playoffs. According to opener Darcy Short, the squad plans to adopt a fearless approach with everything on the line.
I think when we went into the break, it was probably a little bit too many, more than what we wanted. But I felt the way we started, we were on the right track to winning. We just lost too many wickets and not enough big partnerships in the middle.
All right, how do you regroup from here? Of course, you have 2 more games left, and you would want to win both of those games in order to get into that 2nd and 3rd playoff.
Yeah, it just becomes, I guess we just go out there and play with freedom now. No fear to win or lose. We have to win them, so we just go out there and play as hard as we can, and hopefully win those 2 games.
What would you say were the high points in today's game, in spite of the result?
I think that the back end of the power play, where we took 4 wickets towards the end to hold them up, and having them 6 for 69, we just probably would have liked to capitalise that on a bit more instead of letting them get into 150.
And finally, some football news. Guyana's premier men's club competition, the Guyana Football Federation's Elite League, will return for its highly anticipated 8th season on August 29th, 2026. Defending champions Slingers FC will be joined by the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Defence Force, Western Tigers, Santos, Manettalust, Ansgrove United, then Amstel Fuda Conquerors, and the newly promoted Campton FC. The top flight campaign will unfold over 2 rounds during an 8-month marathon. The opening phase runs from August to November 2026, with the title race resuming from February to May 2027. The GFF has aligned its 2026-2027 ecosystem with FIFA's international match windows, most notably consolidating the traditional September and October breaks into a single 16-day window. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, newsroom.gy, and all social media platforms. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.